Alright guys, welcome back. You're watching Milsert Master. Today I'm going to be doing a video about AKM bayonets, and basically what I'm going to be doing is showing you guys my collection, taking you through each one, talking about what country it's from, its features, how it differs from the other ones, and etc. So basically I'm going to jump right in because I don't really have too much time here, and I don't want to waste too much of your time. Hopefully you'll find this interesting though. Going from, for you guys it'll be left to right, I've got them organized by country, so I'm going to go through. These are East German, this is Chinese, these three are Polish, this is Romanian, this one's Yugoslavian, this one is Russian, and these three are Bulgarian. And what country they're from can kind of decide the worth of them, as well as how nice they are and their features, what type they are. So basically there are three main types of AK bayonets, specifically AKM. There is a 6x3, which is this type. There is the 6x4, which is this type. And there is the 6x5, which is this type, and I've got all three. So, there are also what are known as transitionals, where they'll have, say, a 6x3 scabbard and a 6x5, or a 6x4 handle, slash, the whole bayonet. So, the difference between the three types, here is a 6x3. It has a rounded Bakelite handguard, or handle. It has a bare steel scabbard with a rubber insulator to protect from electrical shock. And that's really the only difference. The blade is the same, and I'll show you guys the blade. That's what it looks like. Go ahead and put that back up. So between the two, the blade does not differ, but the blade is different on a 6x5. So, let me just get that one back away. I'll pull out my 6x4. Here we go. It has a Bakelite scabbard. The handle is Bakelite, and it has a steel pommel. And then on a 6x5, have a polymer handle, or a polymer scabbard, polymer handle, polymer pommel, and that's about it. And this one also has a different blade, as you can see there, which is also a little bit longer. And I'm going to jump into the different countries that we have here. So, this is an East German transitional. So what that means is, instead of being a 6x1 bayonet and a 6x1 scabbard, it's a mixture, or instead of being a 6x3 bayonet and a 6x3 scabbard, we have a 6x3 bayonet and a 6x4 scabbard. And the reason this is because sometimes they would switch over production for the scabbard sooner than they would do the handles, or vice versa. And so you'd end up with these. Now it is numbers matching. So the serial number is electro-penciled right in there, the channel where the bayonet lug would go. And then the last three digits of the serial number are electro-penciled here on the wire cutter. And by the way, regarding wire cutters, let me show you what those are and how they work. So there's an ingenious feature on these bayonets that was copied by America with our M9, I believe, bayonet. But anyway, the Russians came up with it first. There is a hole in the blade, and there is a lug on the scabbard. Put them together, and you have a really nice, handy little wire cutter. Which also takes me into why there is a rubber insulator on the 6x3s, also known as a Type 1. So on a Type 1, or a 6x3, they've got this because if you were cutting electrical wire, you couldn't grab onto this bare scabbard or else you would be shocked. So they have this. So it's really cool. And these kind of can be in different colors and stuff from different countries. Anyway, so we have a transitional East German. Very, very high quality. I love this one. You can see here there's mold numbers in there that are very finely done. It has a a canvas wrist strap. It has a leather frog, which is kind of a leather on the inside, and then it has like a gray coating of some type. And these are just machined very well. They're done very well. Good craftsmanship. Very clean, just solid, high quality. East German, that's what you expect when you look at East German military equipment, is high quality. It's on par with Russia and Poland. They all made very high quality equipment. So moving on, we have a pretty rare example here, a Chinese This is a pretty cool one because it's different than any others. So if you look at just a regular, a regular bayonet, you'll notice the Chinese is a lot shorter, and the reason that is because these were made for commercial use. The Chinese, for their military AKs, they have a fold-out spike bayonet, which I'll show you on the screen. So they only made these types of bayonets for the civilian market in the US, where they were selling their civilian AKs. So they decided they didn't need the wire cutter on there. So it does not have the hole in the blade. It doesn't have a saw blade on the back, while most of them do. But otherwise, it's a really nice, really cool, little bit more rare bayonet. Made out of a black, I don't know if it's Bakelite or just a polymer, but it's really cool. And some of them would have a little belt clip that would attach right there. It's just like a little metal, a really cheap, cheesy little clip that really didn't work. But if you have the clip on your bayonet, they can be worth a little more. Moving on, we have a Polish transitional. So this one's the opposite of the East German because we have a 6x3 scabbard and a 6x4 bayonet. Orange Bakelite on that handle. This one's a little dirty, but these are very high quality when they're not messed up like this. And this is a numbers matching. So you have a serial number here, if it'll focus, and then you have the matching serial number here on the bayonet. It has a leather wrist strap and a leather frog, and the Polish ones have this little hinge here, whereas most of them that have this type of frog won't have that. That's basically that. Here we have my Type 1, or my 6x3 from Poland. I really love this one because look at that marbling on that Bakelite. It's really, really nice. And just beautiful leather. The leather is preserved well. Not cracking, not dried out, not moldy. So I like that one a lot. Here we have another Polish transitional without the leather parts, but very nice, high quality. Bakelite on there, has some good marbling, but it's more of a solid orange color. And then moving on, we have our Romanian. This is a Romanian Type 1. As you can see, it has a unique type of frog where it's a full piece of leather and it wraps around the insulator here and it wraps around the scabbard here. You can take this off, but it's a real pain. I'm not going to. Otherwise, it's a standard Type 1. It does have a leather wrist strap, and it is a matching example with the serial number here, and then I will have to take it out. Matching serial number right there. And we are running out of battery life, so I may have to split this into 2 videos. So I will be right back. Alright, I'm back now. I had to plug this camera in and take off my sweatshirt because it was getting a little hot. So I was on the Romanian bayonet. It's Bakelite here on the handle. It's a darker, the Romanians always use a darker shade of Bakelite, and they're also a little bit more beat up. So the thing about these is Romanians are one of the most common bayonets in the US, and the reason that is because they would be imported with the Wassers. So if you know what a Wasser is, it's a Romanian AK. It's a very common type of imported AK in America. They would generally be imported without the frog, without the wrist strap, and without the insulator, so it would just be the handle and the bare metal scabbard without this rubber insulator. And they're all a little bit more beat up, but they're pretty nice. The quality is still there. It's just not as clean as some of the others, but I still like them. I like this one because it's matching, it's in good condition, and it's a complete bayonet with everything it would come with. So that's pretty cool to me. And yeah, moving on. This is a Yugoslavian bayonet, Type 2, or 6x4. It has an East German frog on there just because when I bought it at the gun show, it had this on there, and I just left it on. So that's an incorrect frog for what it is. But anyway, pretty much a copy of a regular Type 2 Russian in black polymer. And I'll show you guys the blade. Very, very typical. Okay? The Yugoslavians are also quite common. relative to other types of bayonets. I don't know if I talked about the rarity of these previous ones. I'll go back over real quick. These East Germans are, I would say, uncommon. They're more of a collector's item. The Chinese especially, very uncommon, very collectible. The Polish are, they've been being imported a lot lately, but they're not that common. They haven't been common until recently. And they're very high quality, and they're very beautiful, so they're a pretty big collector's item as well. The Romanians, the Yugos, those are your basically run-of-the-mill, not really collectible yet. And usually the cheapest as well. So moving on, we have another one of my very nice, beautiful, and collectible bayonets. A Russian Type 2, or 6x4. So, this is a very, very, very nice example. What it has is it has a bakelite handle, bakelite here, orange bakelite. You can see pretty good marbling on there. And this one's covered in proof marks. It also has, before I get to those, pebble grain, I guess you would call it, leather, frog, and a brown canvas wrist strap. So, let me go ahead and first I'll show you the serial numbers. So these are electro penciled on. 594 there, and then I'll try to get that in the light for you guys. 594 upside down on the end of the scabbard. So it's a matching one. And then you've got all kinds, like I said, all kinds of proof marks. So I'm going to take it out here to show you guys. So first of all, we have a, right there, there's kind of a ink stamp. If I hold it still, it might focus, maybe. Yes, there's an M in a box right next to the Izmash factory little arrow in a triangle. Then we have a mold number, 15/2, which is common on Russian bakelite. They'll always have a mold number. Inside of the channel here, you have a OTK 21 stamp and a little 6 or a 9 in there. I don't know what those mean, but I know OTK is a very common stamp to find on Russian stuff. I'll have to look that up. I might put an annotation in the video when I find out what that means. Otherwise, very nice painted black steel pommel. High quality machining. Otherwise, on this part here, we have another ink stamp with some Cyrillic lettering in there. I don't know what that means or says. I don't know what any of these ink stamps mean. But anyway, the blade is very nice, just high quality. It's got the saw on the back. Yeah. So let me move on to the scabbard for you real quick. Got a very nice, very big Izmash logo. Well, maybe, maybe not. There we go. Moving on up, we have a little, I would assume that's a mold number, 76. And that's it for markings on this side. On the other side, we have the serial number, like I said. Then moving up along the center, there are a couple, there's an N, there's a little mark there, and then there's an OTK. OTK4. Don't know what that means. It might be a quality control inspection stamp, which is kind of what I assume it is. But anyway, that is it for the Russian. These are pretty, not necessarily rare, but they're hard to find because they're sought after and people don't generally get rid of theirs, especially if they're really, really nice like this one. So these are really, they go for 80, maybe even, well, if you're looking at a good place, they'll go for 80. If you're looking on like eBay, they'll go in the 150 range. I got this for 25 bucks. I should have got more because I could have, but I didn't realize at the time. Anyway, moving on, we have a Bulgarian. This is pretty much an exact copy of the Russian one I just showed you. The only real difference is it has a leather wrist strap instead of the canvas. Now this one, starting right off, it has an OTK wax type of impression stamp on the end of the wire cutter right there. And then it's covered in, well, it's got its serial number electro penciled right here. This is matching too. Dude didn't have too much of a, he didn't have very good handwriting, but there we go. The other serial number is right there. if you can see that. And then, cool thing about this is we have the nice double circle 10 logo, as well as on, well, I guess the scabbard doesn't have a double circle 10, but it is on the handle. I'll show you this one real quick. This one's a little greasy. Has a little bit of preservative grease on it, but I just leave that on there because it protects it. But yeah, this is pretty much an exact copy of the Russian. And finally, I have my Bulgarian Type 3s or Bulgarian 6x5s. So they have, they're made out of polymer. The scabbard looks exactly like a Type 2 scabbard. The only difference is it's actually slightly longer by about a half an inch. And that's because the bayonet is a little longer. It still has the wire cutter. The handle is very different, as you can see. Made out of polymer. It doesn't have a spot for a wrist strap. They did away with that. This is a matching example. 6598. It's hard to get this in the light here, but I'm trying to show you guys. 6598 there. Wow, that's interesting. I haven't even noticed that until now. We got some ink marks here, and then interestingly, this the lug for the wire cutter. Oh, I guess that's how the Bulgarians do theirs. Or I guess, never mind. Never mind that. That was dumb on my part. Double circle 10 and double circle 10 right there. I like these a lot because they kind of fit well with my AK how it is right now, with my Bulgarian plum stock set on it, and it's a Bulgarian AK SLR 107. So I've got another one, and on this one, this isn't matching, but I'll show you the blade is different, and I'll show you like a Type 2 blade for comparison. You can see how much longer it is and how differently shaped it is. Let me put this away. And really, guys, there isn't too much else that I can show you about my collection. I'll probably do an update if and when I get more. Of course, I'm going to the gun show tomorrow, and I generally pick up a bayonet or two while I'm there. So we'll see how that goes. If I do, I'll probably do a little video showing you guys what I got at the gun show. But yeah, if you have any questions about these, or actually, hold on. I have to do and finally, I'm going to show you guys how much these are worth. And finally, I'm going to talk to you guys about how much these are worth. So going from left to right, these East Germans, transitionals in this nice condition with all the accessories, are worth probably about 50 bucks, a little higher, a little lower maybe, depending on where you look. And there's really there's 3 different places you can get these, or there's 3 different ways you can look for these. And that goes for a lot of collectible items. You can go to retail prices, which are where they're being sold on online stores. That'll be the highest price you'll find usually. Then there is people selling on forums, or people selling, man to man, will generally give you a little bit of a better deal. And then you have finding it at a, like a pawn shop or a gun show where somebody has it and they don't know what it is and they don't know how much it's worth. That's the best place to look for them, because that's how I paid pretty much for all these. I paid about $25, and some of these are worth retail over 100 bucks. So, like this one here. On certain places you could pay $100 for this. I paid $50 on eBay. All 3 of these, or these 2 Polish ones, I paid $25 for. This one I also paid $25 for this. So these are all 3 probably retail about $60, $80 bayonets. This here, I paid about what it's worth. I paid $25. With everything on it, you could say maybe $30, but that's about the highest you could go for a Romanian. Same with the Yugo, I paid $15 at the time. That's about what they were worth. They're a little bit more expensive now. For the Russian, I actually got this on an online store. Surprisingly, they were selling these, I don't know why, for 25 bucks. That was a really good deal, but I got it. I should have bought like 10, but I only got one. These you could see on eBay for 160 bucks. I got this for 25. This here, 20 bucks on Gunbroker, if I remember correctly. You can pay maybe 80 bucks for this on other places. And these two, roughly $100 bayonets, I got them for 25 each on Gunbroker. So it really just takes looking. I almost never buy things from like first party retailers because I don't like to pay the premium price. I like to get them cheaper. And you can if you know what to look for and you do enough looking. But anyways, guys, that's about it for this video. I just wanted to give you guys a quick overview. I probably took a little too long as it is. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else you want me to do. In the future, here pretty soon, I'll probably be doing an AK stock overview. So I'll be showing you guys the different stocks I have for my AKs and talking to you about them and how the collectability of them and their features. Otherwise, I've got some more videos probably coming out for those Mosins, like removing the Cosmoline. And that's about it. So hit like, subscribe, comment, and enjoy.